Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Guys, this is going to be an important video. We are really going to be touching on everything Cardano right now. Not only that, we're going to be giving you an overall market update, where we're at, why I believe you have nothing to worry about, and right now the opportunity to be investing in some of these cryptocurrencies is really like investing in early .com stocks, because they are going to play a fundamental role in the future that we are moving towards. We know that Charles has recently done a Lex Fridman podcast, which was over 4 hours long. I've watched it about 1.5 times now, so that's around about 7 hours of my life that I will never get back. And there was a lot of things in there. There wasn't really any kind of major updates, so to speak. It was a lot of Charles's personal opinions on a lot of things, and he was really kind of reconfirming and going over exactly what crypto is, what Cardano is, and how it's going to play a role in the future. He described it as a FOSS, a financial operating system. I like that analogy because it is a financial operating system of the future, and there are a lot of people right now being very scared, and I'm going to show you why you have no reason to worry. People are so petrified that Bitcoin is going to roll over again, and we're going to see another dump like we saw here. I don't think that's going to happen, and I could be wrong, but I think I have a number of indicators that suggest that we have bottomed now for Bitcoin, and we are going to recover, which is going to see the entire market continue to flourish. And something like Cardano that has real fundamentals and a real goal, when you compound the good news that it is continuously having and the updates that are coming out, we know the Alonzo mainnet is going to be launched in around about September. This is going to allow an entire ecosystem to flourish on top of Cardano. Also, Charles mentioned that they're going to publish a paper about algorithmic stablecoins, and they're going to continue from where BitShare essentially left off, unfinished business. This is another side of DeFi that we're going to talk about, why this is significant. Guys, honestly, you have no reason to worry, because a couple of videos ago on Cardano, we were listening to one of the co-founders of Ethereum, who I think is now owns Consensus. And he was essentially saying, look, I'm in all, I'm in Cardano. I buy Cardano. It's one of my biggest holdings. We also know that there is now a growing institutional interest for Cardano. This was largely spiked because of its low energy usage when the whole kind of Bitcoin bad for the environment narrative was going around. Here you have breaking news. Grayscale has added $2 billion worth of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, mainly Ethereum, ADA, Link, and XRP over the weekend. They are gearing up for what's to come, guys, and you are going to recover, in my opinion. And this is going to see Cardano perform exceptionally well. And just like how everyone got fatigued over here and they were saying it's a stable coin, they were getting fed up, only to miss out on a pump. I think people that get out of this opportunity right now and cut their losses if they're in losses, or get bored with a project, are going to miss out on what's to come. And I think we still think Cardano is going to $7.50 plus by the end of this cycle, whenever that decides to be, whether that's the end of the year, whether that's cut short, or whether that goes into next year and we have a lengthening cycle theory. I can't re-emphasize enough to you that, what's going on here is huge. There's a lot more going on with blockchain technology than just you guys making money by investing in it. The very infrastructure of the world, in terms of the financial systems, the educational systems, are going to get shaken up by this technology, for good or worse in many cases. There is the argument, and certainly when we spoke about the World Economic Forum, which has people on the board like Christine Lagarde, the head of the European Central Bank, Larry Fink from BlackRock, and David Rubenstein from the Carlyle Group. I might have got those two mixed up, but they are the biggest financial hitters that there are, guys. The biggest hedge funds, the biggest investment firms, and the people that are really in the know. And they are now coming to the realization that blockchain is going to disrupt the world. Not only that, they mentioned Cardano by name in that PDF that we read. So I really wanted to get that out of the way before we go into any kind of charts. And really, in regards to the charts, and certainly the Cardano chart, you are so tethered to Bitcoin right now that Bitcoin is just going to drag you all over the place. You can see that you have a bit of a symmetrical triangle forming. This just really shows indecision. These can really break either up or down. There's no decisiveness here. There's no kind of, okay, on balance of probability. On balance of probability, a symmetrical triangle will see you follow the trend that you're already in. But that ultimately depends on what Bitcoin does. And I do think Bitcoin has bottomed. We've brought this up a number of times. If you look at the RSI, we're on a 4 hourly here. We'll switch to a daily. Every time you get below here, and the last time we did that was in March 2020, when we saw the whole kind of crash and we recovered from that. a recovery follows, and that's exactly what's going to happen. And I have taken this opportunity throughout this entire dip, and for those of you who've been watching the channel, you'll know that, to just continue to accumulate. And I ultimately believe that I've made the right decision. I could have made the wrong decision, but time will tell. Time is the best teacher. And another thing I want to point out very quickly is, and we spoke about this in more detail, look at the Wyckoff accumulation schematic, which is where the composite man, the insiders, the people in the know, start to reaccumulate before sending this thing to the moon. The same way that they did it with the distribution, the Wyckoff distribution, they're now doing it on the flip side, ready to accumulate. This is all one big game of manipulation, and the aim of this game is to get people like me and you out of the market so they can be the only profiteers of this. And I'm here to try and fight against that, because I want as many normal individuals out there. I'm going into a little bit more of my own personal beliefs here, and I'm going to keep this really short and sweet, but I believe that certainly in the Western world, and that olive branch is now getting kind of given over to the rest of the world. Certainly in the Western world, you are slaves to the financial system, whether you like it or not, and people often choose to ignore that. They don't really have much interest. I think finance is boring, but it directly affects your life, because that has really been highlighted throughout this whole period, where we've seen governments around the world print loads of money to kind of hedge against the situation that we all find ourselves in. That devalues your wage. So if you get paid in a wage and your wage hasn't gone up accordingly with the amount of money that's been printed, you are poorer. That is just a quick point I want to make, and this is why I'm so bullish and I'm so involved with blockchain, because this is steering us away from that, where we have a monetary system and a financial system that is controlled by central authority and is detrimental. It only really benefits a very small number of people and harms everybody else. So that was way off topic, guys. I like to drop things like that in my videos, because it's important that you guys see where I'm coming from, and that will, perhaps if you're a subscriber, help you make that decision whether you want to say subscribe, because your views may not align with mine. It's fine, that's great. It's what makes the world such a beautiful place, is that people disagree. If everyone was the same, the world would be boring. So yeah, that's way off topic. But we're going to recover. Charles tweeting about this, algorithmic stablecoins. I'll touch on this very, very quickly, because I don't think people even know what an algorithmic stablecoin is. BitShares was a really early company, and they came up really with the first stablecoin, which wasn't an algorithmic stablecoin, but they then moved on and tried to create one. Basic concepts of an algorithmic stablecoin are that essentially it's self-aware. So it will try and stay at $1. So if it goes to $1.20, it will print and inflate to get back down to that, and the people that own the stable coins will essentially get airdropped the extra printed money they've printed in order to bring the price back down to $1. Very, very interesting. The reason I bring this up is because we know that there is an entire DeFi system going to be launched on top of Cardano. If you look at DeFi in terms of a monetary value, it is so small, so insignificant in the grand scheme of things. It has exponential room to grow. And systems, FOSSes, as Charles calls it, like Cardano, like Ethereum, like Polkadot, like Algorand, like Tezos. People forget about Algorand and Tezos. We're extremely bullish on Algorand and Tezos. I mean, Tezos a little bit slept on, but we'll talk about that in another video. Financial operating systems like that are going to be the very platforms that DeFi is built on, are going to appreciate greatly when this space grows, because the demand for these tokens, whether it's Ethereum, I use Ethereum pretty much most days in regards to sending ERC20 tokens, or providing liquidity, or swapping in and out of tokens on something like Uniswap. Cardano hasn't even got that yet, and look at where it is. The main point of this video was really to just emphasize how excited you should really be. This is going on about Iron Finance, which I think had a big issue recently, where they've essentially gone down to zero. It's supposed to be a stablecoin, but what they're highlighting here is what an algorithmic stablecoin actually is. You've got three kinds of stablecoins. Algorithmic is the harder one. The reason I'm bringing this up is really to show you that we are so early still. People look at the fact that you're early if you got in 2017, but then again, people that got in 2017 looked at people that got in 2013 and said they were early. You are early. Not a lot has even been done with this technology yet. It's coming. The use cases are just popping up all over the place. You now have an entire country that has legalized Bitcoin. Meanwhile, legalized it in the sense that they're calling it legal tender. Meanwhile, people are bearish. Why are you bearish? I have no idea. And one other thing that I saw was Charles, I don't know why he even bothered retweeting this guy, was essentially getting some slack thrown at him. You know, called all sorts of names by somebody here. Don't be a hater. And if you're invested and you're a maxi on, let's say, Ethereum, you actually want to encourage Cardano, because opposition is what actually, opposition leads to growth, it leads to ingenuity, it leads to performance, it leads to people upping their game. If there's only one guy that controls everything, they have no reason to innovate. Whereas if there are competitors, they have to make sure that they're ahead of the curve and beating those competitors. So you really want to encourage other smart contracts out there. We're bullish on Ethereum. We're bullish on Polkadot. We're bullish on. They're all doing it in a slightly different way, which is interesting. But Cardano has a lot going for it. That is all I really have for you in this video, guys. Bit of a long-winded one, but I really thought it was important to say, go and look at this Wyckoff schematic and look at what's taking place right now. Look at down here and your spring test area. I think you're there now, guys, because you don't just come straight up. You come up and you come down, you come up and you come down, etc., etc., etc. And you're going to kind of range before we then get that kind of blow off when institutions, and this is the sad thing, decide that they want to allow this thing to ride. It's annoying. That the market is still largely manipulated. Lots of people comparing it to the current financial system because that is manipulated, and I can kind of see that, but we're hopefully moving towards a new future. So that is really all I have for you in this video. Go and check out Algorithmic stablecoins. It's always interesting to learn about the space, and one of the best places to start is history. How did this space come about, and what were the first projects, the first movers, like things like Namecoin, etc., etc. The Lex Fridman podcast was very interesting. There wasn't really many revealing things in there, just a lot about Charles's personal references and stuff like that. And one day, and I'm adamant of this, guys, mark my words, remember I said this, screenshot it or whatever, Charles is going to come on this. We are going to reach out and try and get Charles on this YouTube channel. So we'll see however long that takes, but it will happen. I'm certain of that. All I have for you in this video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. I hope everybody is going to have a fantastic weekend, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, guys.